Hello, this is Steve Thoele, Principal Broker with Premier Property Group, and bringing you another weekly update on the Newberg Oregon real estate market. This update is going to cover the last 8 weeks of market activity, ending this past Sunday, September 18th. So I'm going to share my screen with you now and go through the info with you. So this last week in Newberg, I show we had 17 new homes come on the market. You can kind of see that that's a high for the last 8 weeks on a weekly basis. About 8 of these were new construction listings that got put on the market. So that was a pretty good share of them. And then we ended the week with 90 homes in total on the market. And you can kind of see that that matches a high for the last 8 weeks, up quite a bit from the prior week at 75. Median list price and days on market for the active listings, you can kind of see that that's been pretty steady outside of a couple weeks here, right around 590,000. This last week came in at 588, down a couple thousand. And then the days on market had been rising pretty steadily. And then as these higher numbers of new listings have kind of come on, it's brought the average back down. This last week came down to 37 days of average market time for the 90 homes that are on the market currently. Moving along to pending sales activity. This last week in Newberg, I show we had 6 properties go pending, and you can kind of see that's kind of in the middle of kind of where it's been over the past 8 weeks, down from the prior couple weeks in terms of weekly pendings. And we ended the week with 56 homes in pending status, which is a slight low. You can kind of see here for the past 8 weeks. So we've definitely been losing pendings over in general over this past 8 weeks. The median price and days on market for the pending listings, you can kind of see that outside of 1 week here, been holding pretty steady right around 500,000. This last week came in at 503. And then the days on market for the pendings, you can kind of see that is continuing to kind of rise here over the past 3 weeks. It was very steady at 13. Then it's been heading up from there. This last week kind of came in at 29 days of average market time for the current 56 homes that are in pending status. So things are definitely taking a little longer to get into to go pending these days than they certainly were earlier in the period. So, and then lastly here, we'll look at sold listing activity. So as of the time I put this info together, I show we had 8 properties get recorded from pending over to sold. That's up a little bit from the prior couple of weeks. You can kind of see, and kind of in the middle of kind of where it's been over the past 8 weeks. And then when I look back over the prior 4 weeks of activity here, I show that we had 38 homes go from pending to sold here in Newberg. And you can kind of see that matches a low for the 8 weeks. And, certainly down from kind of where it was, a month or 3 weeks back. Definitely losing closings as the market is slowing down here. And then the price, quite a reduction, as you can kind of see over the past 8 weeks. So 8 weeks ago, we had a high of 538,000 was the median sold price. This last week came in at 458,000. So what is that? About $80,000 worth of difference here between the high and the low. So definitely lower median sold price over the past 8 weeks. And then the days on market, kind of strange, but started off at 5 and we got up to a couple weeks, and the last couple weeks it's actually kind of come down. So this last week I'm showing that the days on market for the solds was average was 6 days of average market time. And then finally, we'll look at weeks of inventory and the sale price as a percent of the original list price. So the red bars is weeks of inventory, and you can see we were up around 9 to 10 months here to begin with, and it eventually kind of dipped down to closer to 6 weeks of inventory. And the last couple of weeks has been kind of climbing back up. So this last week, we got back up to close to 9 to 10 weeks of inventory based upon the current level of inventory and the lower amount of closings. So, definitely slowing down. And then the sale price as a percent of the list price, you can kind of see what's happened there. We had a high of right at 100% of list price. And then I think I've told you that, part of this reduction is a couple listings that were substantially under the list price really dragged this number down. We're starting to see that kind of rise back up a little bit like I thought it would. this last week kind of came in at 97%, a little over 97% of asking price. So in total, definitely things slowing down from kind of where we're here just a few weeks back. But with 9-10 weeks of inventory and things still selling fairly close to list price, we're still kind of in that seller's market environment, just more of a moderate run than what we've experienced here in the recent past. So I hope the latest weekly update has been helpful to you. So if so, always appreciate any likes, comments, and shares that you have for me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the subscribe button, and don't miss a weekly update on what's happening in your local market. So as always, if I can answer any questions or be of any help, don't hesitate to reach out. My number is 503-680-2065. And I really appreciate you watching, as always. Hope you have a fantastic day and week ahead. Thanks.